Good evening. This is ATN Global News at 9 p.m. First, the headlines. Court bars PDP from dissolving Rivers ESCOs. New CP vows to smoke out criminals. Senate confirms Justice Kekere Ekun as CGN. Nigerians spent 89.5 trillion electronically. Russian strike kills one. Bobrisky denies bribery allegation. South Africa to host Under-20 African Cup of Nations.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Abuja Federal High Court has restrained People's Democratic Party governors, the National Working Committee and Board of Trustees, BOT, of the party from tampering with or dissolving the executive committee of the party in Rivers State. ATM reports that members of the Rivers State PDP EXCOs are loyalists of Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. The court also restrained the PDP governors and the party's NWC and BOT from constituting an interim committee to replace the officers of the party at the state, local government and ward levels in Rivers State. Justice Peter Alifu issued the order while delivering ruling in an ex parte application brought before him by the PDP Rivers State Executive Committee led by Aaron Chukwemeka and his counterparts at the local government and ward levels. Justice Lifu also ordered the PDP national body and others not to tamper with or dissolve the local government and ward leaderships of the PDP in Rivers State, who were elected along with the State Executive Committee during the recent Congress of the party. Analysts have emphasized on the need for due processes in regards to the October 5th local government polls in the state. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, a political analyst, Ifeanyi Ugochukwu, maintained that Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission must at first ensure to handle all issues of court-related cases as it concerns local government polls in the state.
See off the litigation before they were able to conduct the elections. So it will not be different from Rivers State if they put on hold the election, instead of after all these frivolities at the end of the day, we still go back to the status quo, because any infraction, any disobedience of the court order for this particular.
Meanwhile, Mr. Ugochukwu highlighted areas of hurdles in the proposed council elections in the state.
I've seen parties, run advertorial screening and campaigns, and we are talking about an election that is going to be holding on the 5th of October. So those things are really confusing to the electorate in Rivers State. So the earlier the governor puts an end to the process for now and finishes this legal backlogs, the better for Rivers people.
This is coming as the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State has doubted the possibility of the proposed council elections in the state on October 5th. The APC said there is nothing on ground to indicate that the exercise would hold on the said date. They urged Governor Fubara to stop deceiving people in Rivers State that elections will hold. The British High Commission has described Saturday's Edo State governorship election as largely peaceful, while urging calm following the announcement of the results. In a statement released on Wednesday, the Commission commended the people of Edo State for their participation in the electoral process and emphasizing the importance of maintaining peace. The APC candidate Monday Okpebolo was declared the winner of the poll after securing 291,000 votes, defeating the PDP party Asu Igodalo, who garnered 247,000, and Olumide Akpata of the Labour Party, who finished third with 22,000 votes. The UK Commission encouraged parties with grievances over the outcome to utilize established legal channels to address their concerns. They stressed that the Independent National Electoral Commission and other relevant authorities should handle all complaints with transparency and fairness. Reiterating its commitment to credible elections in Nigeria, the UK government assured that it would continue to monitor the situation closely in Edo State. Labour Party caucus in the House of Representatives has described the loss of its governorship candidate, Olumide Akpata, as the highest theft of the season. Speaking on the outcome of the September 21st governorship election in Edo State, the leader of the caucus, who is also the House Minority Whip, Honorable George Ozodinobi, said the party is joining other political parties, civil society organizations, NGOs, and local and international observers to condemn the final outcome of the election, which, according to the lawmaker, was marred by irregularities and rigging.
This is the very first time I'll be addressing the press. I've been dodging off. I'm not a media person, but I'm in love with press. So I want to thank all of you. We just started yesterday we came back from our recess yesterday. Our time are very tight. 33 of us are supposed to be here, but too many engagements. In the next 15 minutes, Speaker, the leadership, and what transpired in Edo State on September 21st, 2024, in the name of governorship election, is the highest theft of the season. The electorate were clearly robbed of their votes and their will and wishes dashed. We want to state without mincing words that Labour Party is committed to democratic principles and will not stand idly by while the rights of our citizens are trampled on.
The caucus accused the Independent National Electoral Commission and the security agencies of complexity during the election, warning that the obedient move is coming out in full support and nobody can stop it this time around. Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps Akwa Ibom State Command has arrested 5 suspects who vandalized power installations, including high-tension cables in Akwa Ibom State. The State Commandant NSCDC Mr. Bashir Hussaini disclosed this on Wednesday while briefing newsmen at the command headquarters in Uyo State. In Uyo, Hussaini said the suspects were arrested on September 22, 2024 at about 2:30 a.m. in Ikot Obiong, Ekbong village in Mpat Eni, local government area of the state. Hussaini said the suspects confessed to the crime and narrated that they were monitored and ascertained when electricity supply was off, mounted their ladders and climbed to cut the high-tension cables in the early hours of the night. The state commandant said that exhibits recovered from the suspects included 3 bundles of high-tension vandalized cables from different points and a motorcycle used for the operation. Hussaini expressed displeasure in the increasing rate of vandalism of public infrastructure, especially power installations in the state. He renewed the commitment of the command to tackling the menace headlong and make Akwa Ibom State uncomfortable for vandals and criminal elements. The NSCDC boss stated that the command will continue to deploy intelligence and community approach to security as it's yielding positive results. He called on citizens, community leaders, youths and residents to partner with the Corps in timely dissemination of information of criminal activities in their localities for prompt action. The state commandant said that 5 suspects will be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. Petroleum unions in Akwa Ibom State on Wednesday lifted the ban on the sale of petroleum products in the state. Recall that the leadership of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, in a press release signed by its chairman, Francis Udoye, and secretary, Ekom Edemudu, recently directed its members to close their fuel stations. The directive saw all fuel stations in the state shut down their operations, refusing to sell products to anyone for days. The ban followed the confiscation of trucks of petrol by the JTF for 4 months. The state governor, worried by the hardship and action created by the residents, convened a meeting with the petroleum unions, according to a press release signed by the Commissioner for Information, INI, Emomobong. The statement noted that the union leaders agreed to lift the ban with immediate effect. Additionally, he expressed his commitment to exploring the establishment of a petroleum depot in Akwa Ibom State. The release read in parts. Move on to Ebonyi State, where the government on Wednesday sealed 4 mining companies for non-compliance with the terms of community development agreements in the state. The CDA is designed to ensure that mining companies contribute to the development of the communities in which they operate. The Commissioner for Solid Minerals and Natural Resources, Honorable Chidi Onya, led a joint task force to seal the companies. He explained that the miners had been given ample time to comply with the agreement, but failed to do so. The affected companies are Anli Mining and Investment Limited, China Solid Rock 1 and 2, located in Ngodo, Amachi of the Afikpo local government area, the Shenlong Mining along Ezuilo of the Ishielu local government area. According to the Commissioner, the sites will remain closed until the companies comply with the state government's directives. He assured that the state government would continue to monitor mining activities to ensure that all companies follow the law, warning that any company found breaking the rules would be shut down. Anambra State Police Command has arrested 2 suspects and recovered a bag of gunpowder along with various ammunitions and at various locations in the state. The command's SP, Tochukwu Ikenga, revealed this in a statement on Wednesday, noting that the arrests were made during intelligence-driven patrols conducted by the Joint Security Task Force. Ikenga stated the police arrested 2 suspects and recovered 1 large quantity of gunpowder concealed in a bag of cassava flakes, which is gari, along with 2 locally made pistols and live ammunition. He explained that on 22 September 2024, operatives patrolling the Pillar Pole area of Aguata intercepted a suspect carrying 3 bags of gari. Upon searching the bags, the operatives discovered gunpowder hidden beneath the food items. He said preliminary investigations revealed that the suspect was en route to a criminal camp delivering groceries for consumption and gunpowder intended for the production of improvised explosive devices for the gang. Ikenga added that the suspect is currently in custody and is assisting the police in their efforts to apprehend other members of the gang. In Lagos, in a bold move to tackle violations of the state environmental laws, and Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency has sealed off prayer centers and business premises across the state. This is disclosed in a statement shared on X.com by the Lagos State Commissioner for the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, on Wednesday. According to a statement released by LASEPA on Wednesday, the enforcement operation is part of the agency's ongoing efforts to ensure compliance with the environmental laws and protect public health. The statement revealed that the establishment were found guilty of violating environmental regulations despite several warnings from the agency. The statement further revealed that the general manager of LASEPA issued a stern warning emphasizing the agency's stance on compliance with environmental laws. It added that the general manager of LASEPA, Dr. Babatunde Ajayi, emphasized the agency's zero-tolerance stand on non-compliance with environmental laws, saying, "We will not tolerate non-compliance with our regulations." Still in Lagos, newly appointed Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command, Ishola Olanwaju, has vowed to smoke out criminals from the state, rejecting any motion of merely asking them to leave. Olanwaju made this declaration during an inaugural media briefing at the command headquarters in Ikeja, the state capital, on Wednesday, where he paraded 98 suspected criminals. Olanwaju emphasized a proactive approach to crime fighting, detailing his team's readiness to dismantle criminal networks across Lagos. He also announced a partnership with road transport unions to tackle one-chance robbers, ensuring all commercial buses are tagged and easily identifiable. Olawale detailed the results of several coordinated police operations that have rattled Lagos criminal underworld. These operations, he noted, resulted in the arrest of suspects involved in various crimes, including armed robbery, courtesan, kidnapping, and drug trafficking. On the 18th of September, Olawale assumed duty as the 40th Commissioner of Police of the State Command. Not leaving Lagos, Justice Rahman Oshodi of the Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Court in Ikeja, Lagos, has sentenced David Charles, a convicted pedophile, to 8 years in prison for the incident assault of a 10-year-old girl. The sentence was delivered after Charles pleaded guilty to an amended 2-count charge presented by the Lagos State government on July 28, 2021. The prosecution revealed that the court that on April 16, 2017, Charles had touched the lap of the minor with his genitals and exposed her to pornography at 16 Aina Street, Shogunle, Oshodi, Lagos. The prosecutor emphasized that these actions violated sections 135 and 170 of the Criminal Law, Chapter C-17, Volume 3 of the Lagos State Laws 2015. In his judgment, Justice Oshodi remarked that the court had thoroughly examined the case, facts and plea bargain arrangements, and relevant legal provisions. As a result, Charles received a 7-year sentence for the first count and 1 year for the second count. The court determined that those sentences would run consecutively as per the plea bargain, leading to a combined total of 8 years imprisonment. Additionally, the court ordered that the sentence commence from the date of his remand, October 10, 2017, meaning the time already served in custody would be counted towards his sentence. National Emergency Management Agency has confirmed the death of 1 and 2 missing persons on a Tuesday evening flood incident around the Joyce B. Mobile area of Ibadan. The NEMA Southwest Coordinator Kadir Olarinwaju disclosed this to newsmen in Ibadan on Wednesday while assessing the level of damage at the scene. ATN reports that a heavy downpour on Tuesday across some areas within the Ibadan metropolis affected some residential areas, leaving inestimable property destroyed. Olarinwaju attributed the flooding to improper channelization of drainage in the area, saying the volume of water in the area was too much for the available drainages. He said the flood reached the gate level, adding that the area was a flash flood plain, which might result in heavy disaster if not addressed at the right time. In Abuja, High Court on Wednesday adjourned the money laundering case against former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello brought by the EFCC until October 30, 2024 for a ruling. Justice Emeka Nwite granted the adjournment following Bello's move to appeal to the Supreme Court, seeking to overturn the arrest warrant issued by the trial court on April 17th. During the hearing, Defense Counsel A.M. Adoyi informed the court that the matter of Bello's arraignment, which was under appeal, had been taken to the Supreme Court. He noted that the Court of Appeal ruling on August 28, which directed Bello to appear before Justice Winte for arraignment, had been challenged by the Apex Court. Adoyi also brought the court's attention to the September 23rd affidavit of record filed in connection with the appeal. The FCC counsel, Kemi Pinero, wasn't having any of it. He told the court that the defendant and his counsel had turned the court into a place for entertainment. He said the various applications are a gross abuse of court. He urged the trial judge to use his powers and sanction Adoye for contempt of courts and being irresponsible. Experts have expressed concerns following the federal and state government's approach to mitigate devastating flood challenges across the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, a developmental expert, Eric Ibifa, blamed state governments for inability to diligently tackle the issues of flood amidst forecasts and funding.
And some of these things are things that may not be entirely avoidable, but you could mitigate them. You could mitigate the impact. But it seems that each time we do nothing about this, so it's like a repetitive cycle. I mean, it has happened today. We take the usual knee-jerk response. Oh, Serap will issue statements, which I entirely endorse, asking the federal government to ask the state government some questions about the disbursement or the utilization of a.
Meanwhile, Mr. Eric advocated for a sustainable remedy to further avert the natural disaster. ATM recalled the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project have urged President Bola Tinubu to direct the Attorney General of the Federation and Ministry of Justice, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, and appropriate anti-corruption agencies to promptly investigate the spending of the billions of naira of ecological fund collected by Borno State since 2001, including the 816 million naira collected by the state between January 2024 and June 2024. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has submitted a request to the State House of Assembly seeking approval for a 94 billion supplementary budget for the 2024 fiscal year. The governor's request was presented by the Majority Leader Babayo Mohammed Akunya during a plenary session chaired by the Speaker Abubakar Suleiman. The governor's letter cited Section 122 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, emphasizing that the additional budget is needed to fast-track the execution of priority projects aimed at enhancing the welfare of Bauchi State citizens. According to Akuyam, the governor reiterated his administration's commitment to infrastructural developments, human capital improvement, and advancements in health and education sectors. Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike says President Bola Tinubu has directed the FCT administration through the Federal Capital Development Authority to refurbish the former Ministry of Agriculture building for the newly created Ministry of Livestock. The minister stated this following an inspection tour of the ministry's building in the Central Business District of Abuja and the ongoing constructions of Kubo International Market along the Abuja-Kefi Expressway on Wednesday. Wike, while addressing pressmen after the inspection, described the project as an emergency work and said the FCTA would invite companies to assess the building and give quotation for the project, adding that an integrity test had been conducted on the building, which came back as okay. The minister also said he directed the Department of Development Control to demolish buildings obstructing a road corridor leading to the Kubo International Market from Mpape, noting that the market was constructed under a public-private partnership. Wike added that the administration will also liaise with the investor to make the completed first phase of the project affordable for FCT Minister Nyesom Wike said the arrangement that created Kubo International Market between Abuja Investment Company and private individuals is not favorable to FCTA and that it is in need of balancing. Wike stated this when he visited the Kubo International Market in Abuja, pointing out problems of encroachment of market front view and ordering the development control to remove all that will hinder the fast completion of the markets.
Well, it is a PPP arrangement between the Royal Investment Company, which is an agency of the Federal Capital Territorial Section, and a private individual. We have a stake. The land belongs to the FCT, and then the company invests. And here there is a sharing formula, which is not acceptable to the first instance, which have directed the budget director to see that they meet with the investor to see how we can have an arrangement that will be suitable for all of us. For now, the way it is not favorable. It's only favorable to the investor. Secondly, this is an investment that should be encouraged. The international markets of standard, and there are a lot of problems. There is encroachment, and I've directed the government control to immediately demolish anything that is going to cause as an impediment. This is a road corridor, and we will not allow that. And the government control director is there. He had the order to immediately move in with his men to demolish whatever is an obstacle.
He promised to support the project to ensure fast completion of it by January next year, adding that FCTA will continue thorough empowerment programs and support traders to assess the market instead of using roadside for their businesses.
I've asked him when he thinks that the whole thing will be ready. He has said we should give it to January. However, the first phase has been completed. We will therefore see what we can do to see that we open the first phase. And some of these are traders on the road has to come in here and give the free traffic that we deserve. We'll do everything we can to support people. Those who have not indicated interest will see how, through the employment program of the Ready Hope agenda in FCT, we'll see whether we can also put in some funds by taking some stores and giving it to our people. We'll do everything to see that people move into this market as quickly as possible at the first phase. So we're happy. First of all, we have a market where that will create a lot of employment for people. People carry out economic activities. Again, it will decongest the roads, where you see everybody takes the road as a market. Anybody who's coming to market, I'm going to Kubo International Market, whether it is in terms of manufacturing, whether it is in terms of other things. So there are so many advantages. It will boost the economic activity, it will boost the revenue of the government. More importantly, it will create a lot of employment. That's what's key to us, employment, job creation, very key.
In the same vein, the minister also visited the former building of Ministry of Agriculture, which the president has ordered for renovations for the newly created Ministry of Livestock to move in as soon as possible.
It's a former Ministry of Agriculture, and we have a directive by Mr. President to go and immediately refurbish the place and furnish it for the new Ministry of Livestock. And that's why we went there to see it for ourselves. We are going to get some companies to come and look at it and quote for it. It's an emergency work, and because the creation of the Ministry of Livestock is a welcome development, and you can see people are happy waiting for it to start. And so now that that place has been identified, the president has ordered the FCT administration through the FCDA to look at it, and we're seeing the integrity test, which is okay, and we have to rehabilitate and furnish it, and then you will see the Ministry of Livestock take over.
Kaduna State government has reiterated its dedication to upholding children's rights through the implementation of laws and policies, according to the Commissioner for Human Services and Social Development, Hajia Rabi Salisu. Speaking at the zonal policy dialogue on the social child sensitive sectors in Nasarawa and North Central zones, Commissioner Salisu highlighted key initiatives such as the Child Welfare and Protection Law of 2018, which prioritizes the best interest of children in the justice system. Commissioner Salisu praised the timely dialogue which brings stakeholders together to addressing funding gaps and barriers. He also expressed gratitude to the organizers and UNICEF for their support, anticipating innovative solutions and improved social sector performance. ATN reports that the Kaduna State's commitment to child rights is part of its broader efforts to enhance the well-being of its citizens, including the initiatives such as the healthcare financing policy and strategy documents. Operatives of the Bauchi State Police Command have arrested 2 suspects of the Bayangari area of Bauchi Metropolis over their alleged involvement in the murder of an 18-year-old Adamu Al-Kashim, a resident of Kofar Dumi. The suspects include a 20-year-old Usman Shehu, who is also known as Babayaru, and 19-year-old Abdullahi Abubakar. Spokesperson of the Bauchi Police Command, SP Ahmed Wakil, confirmed the arrest in a statement made available to reporters in Bauchi. He said the suspects were apprehended for criminal conspiracy and culpable homicide. SP Wakil explained that operatives were still on the trail of the remaining suspects and urged the public to provide any useful information for their arrests. He added that the suspects will be charged to court upon the conclusion of the investigations. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water, and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats, and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women, and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors, and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Presidency has confirmed that a cabinet reshuffle to be undertaken by President Bola Tinubu now imminent from any moment from now. The special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, revealed that the State House of Correspondents on Wednesday at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Onanuga, however, stated that he was uncertain whether the cabinet reshuffle would occur before October 1st or not. He emphasized that it was expected to happen anytime soon. According to Onanuga, Tinubu urged the ministers to go out there and publicize the administration's successes. He noted that some ministers were hesitant to speak publicly, adding that many Nigerians believe the president isn't doing much, while the government is actually making significant strides. It will be recalled that President Tinubu appointed his ministers in August of last year, and there have been clamor of for cabinet reshuffle by some members of the ruling All Progressives Congress and Nigerians at large over poor performance by some ministers. Federal government has outlined some of its 2025 major budget objectives and security identified as one of the top priorities. The Director General of Budget Office of the Federation, Mr. Timuni Yakubu, gave the insight in Abuja at a meeting with budget officers on preparation of the 2025 budget using the government's integrated financial management system, information of budget preparation and subsystem for all ministries, departments and agencies. He said security will be prioritized to create a conducive environment for capital accumulation in the country in the 2025 fiscal year. Yakubu disclosed this since his assumption of office in June, he had faced both challenges and opportunities in managing the nation's fiscal resources. Federal government has directed a comprehensive investigation into the allegations of bribery and corruption within the Nigeria Correctional Service. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, gave the order in a statement issued on Wednesday by his media aide, Babatunde Alao. ATN reports that the development followed reports that a cross-dresser, Idris Okuneye, aka Bobrisky, who was sentenced to prison earlier this year, did not serve his jail term inside the correctional center. In a viral video leaked by a popular social critic, Martins Otse, popularly known as Very Dark Man or VDM, Bobrisky's alleged voice was heard telling a friend that he spent his jail term in an apartment near the correctional facility. According to the leaked audio, upon his sentencing, an undisclosed godfather called a top senior officer in the prison service who allegedly rented an apartment for the crossdresser. Reacting, the minister said that any form of indiscipline, unprofessionalism and corruption in the service will attract severe consequences. The minister has directed an investigative team, especially by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Interior, Magdalena Jani, to probe the allegation and submit a comprehensive report. He reassured the public that the investigation will be rigorous, transparent and impartial, and that appropriate disciplinary actions will be taken against any personnel found guilty. Senate has confirmed Justice Kudirat Kekereekun as Chief Justice of Nigeria. Her confirmation comes after hours of screening by Nigeria's senators on Wednesday. With the confirmation, Kekereekun becomes the 23rd Chief Justice of Nigeria. During the screening process, lawmakers questioned her on various judicial matters.
Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Honorable Justice Kudirat Moton-Mori Olatukumba Kekereekun for appointment as the Chief Justice of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Honorable Justice Kudirat Moton-Mori Olatukumba Kekereekun is hereby confirmed as the Chief Justice of the Federation of Nigeria.
She emphasized the importance of maintaining judicial integrity and adhering to ethical standards. Justice Kekereekun argued that there should be no limits in cases reaching the Supreme Court, particularly regarding pre-election matters. She stressed that such cases should conclude at the Court of Appeal. Additionally, she highlighted the need for timely handling of petitions by the National Justice Council. Justice Kekereekun also called for measures to insulate the judiciary from external influences.
I will also be encouraging or supporting improvement in our laws. So again, when it comes to the independence of the judiciary, all hands have to be on deck. And I look forward to working with not only the National Assembly, but also the executive to ensure that we have laws in place that enhance our independence. Stagnation of cases in the Supreme Court whether the number of cases that go to the Supreme Court should be restricted. I am very firmly of the view that there needs to be a limit to the cases that get to the Supreme Court. One of the reasons for this is that the Supreme Court is a policy court. It's supposed to determine matters that have public policy significance, matters relating to the interpretation of the Constitution, or matters where very rare legal issues have come up which require a pronouncement from the Supreme Court. As you know, the constitutional provision gives us 90 days to deliver a judgment from the date of final address. Those 90 days are spent dealing with matters of national significance as well as matters that have no significance on the national stage.
After nearly 3 hours of questioning, the Senate voted in favor of her confirmation. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas, has expressed concerns about ongoing security challenges despite progress against insurgency. Abbas, who stated this in his welcome addresses at the resumed plenary by the House after its annual recess, highlighted the devastating incidents, including Boko Haram killings and attacks. While acknowledging the military's success in neutralizing terrorists, the Speaker said the House will hold a high-level security summit focusing on legislative reforms, strengthening security institutions, and enhancing collaboration to tackle insecurity in the country. He said the House will also prioritize several key bills to address critical national issues across security, governance, and environmental protection. Honorable Abbas, who also spoke on the economy front, noted that Nigeria had demonstrated resilience and potential for recovery despite facing inflationary pressures and a high cost of living, citing the 3.19 GDP growth of the second quarter of 2024.
A robust security sector oversight. The House will also promote legislative frameworks that support economic diversification and energy infrastructure. The House will prioritize several key bills to address critical national issues across security, governance, and environmental protection. The Armed Forces Act Amendment Bill and the Police Act Amendment Bill focus on strengthening Nigeria's security apparatus by enhancing the operational efficiency of the military and reforming the police to improve internal security, including through community policing and potential state police reforms. At the same time, the National Electoral Offences Commission Bill aims to uphold the integrity of elections by prosecuting electoral malpractices. It is also crucial to acknowledge the devastating impact of climate change on our communities, especially the recent flooding in Maiduguri, Katsina, Sabangari in Kaduna State, and other parts of the country. We extend our deepest condolences to all those affected.
Former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan has attributed the major causes of conflict on the African continent to the struggle for power. He emphasized that leadership struggles are the root cause of most conflicts in Africa. Speaking at a program organized by the Institute of Peace and Conflict Resolution and Partners in commemoration of the International Day of Peace in Abuja, Jonathan noted that Africa's conflicts are largely driven by contestation for power. He expressed concern about Nigeria's situation, stating that until the country develops a culture of peace, political conflicts will persist. Jonathan also disputed the notion that politics is inherently dirty, instead blaming corrupt individuals for the negative perception. He advocated for a shift in mindset, emphasizing the need to cultivate a culture of peace. The former president highlighted the importance of peaceful elections, citing the recent governorship election in Edo State, where tension was higher after the election due to concerns about irregularities. Jonathan stressed that technology alone cannot solve Nigeria's electoral process, as corrupt minds can manipulate it. Former female soldier, Private Ruth Ogunleye, has asked the Nigerian Army to publish the outcome of its investigation on alleged sexual harassment. Ruth Ogunleye had accused the senior officer, Colonel I.B. Abdul Karim, of sexual harassment in January 2024. Ruth Ogunleye, via her TikTok page, colleague alleged that Colonel I.B. Abdul Karim, Colonel G.S. Ogo, and Brigadier General I.B. Solebu had made her life unbearable. She specifically accused Abdul Karim of making repeated attempts to assault her, administering injections against her will, and confining her to a psychiatric hospital for several months after she rejected his sexual advances. Reacting to her claims on Tuesday, the Director of Army Public Relations, Major General Oyema Nwachukwu, in a press conference noted that the outcome of the investigation had invalidated Ruth Ogunleye's claim. Nwachukwu said that after an exhaustive review of facts, testimonies, and evidence presented, it was determined that Abdul Karim did not commit the offences alleged by Ogunleye, noting that medical reports following an evaluation at the National Hospital in Abuja indicated that Ogunleye was suffering from a condition that rendered her medically vulnerable. But reacting to the above claims, Ogunleye, via her TikTok account, urged the Nigerian Army to publish the outcome of the investigation. Nigeria Immigration Service has decried the growing wave of fake recruitment activities by fraudsters, saying it is working with relevant authorities to apprehend those behind the criminal enterprise. Service Public Relations Officer DCI Kenneth Udo disclosed this in a statement issued on Wednesday in Abuja. He said the service, under the Controller General of Immigration, Kemi Nandap, remains committed to upholding the highest standards of integrity and professionalism in all its operations. He added that the Nigerian Immigration Service maintains that all recruitment exercises are conducted in a transparent, free, and merit-based manner. He said this, noting that vaccines are advertised through the NIS website, official government channels, and recognized national newspapers. The Academic Staff Union of Nigeria has handed the federal government a fresh 14-day ultimatum to resolve pending issues. ASU President Emmanuel Osodeke made this clear. In a statement on Wednesday, Osodeke said they were frustrated with the government's lack of commitment and delayed tactics. Osodeke said the union should not be held responsible for any industrial disharmony that arises from the government's failure to seize the new opportunity offered by ASU to nip the looming crisis on the board. Apart from the implementation of the 2021 agreement, ASU is also demanding the release of unpaid salaries for staff on sabbatical, part-time, and adjunct appointments affected by the integrated payroll and personal information system. They also want the payment of outstanding third-party deductions such as check-off dues and cooperative contributions. The union also is seeking funding for the revitalization of public universities, partly captured in the 2023 federal government budget, and the payment of earned academic allowances, partly captured in the 2023 federal government budget. Moving on, in commemoration of the 2024 World Pharmacists Day, the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria has called for collaboration with governments at all levels to fight against quacks and sales of fake drugs across the country. The Ogun State chairman of the association, Adewale Adenuba, made the call in an interview with newsmen on Wednesday, warning that the quacks who do not cease with their nefarious activities will face the wrath of the law. Adenuba lamented that charlatans have taken over the selling of medicines and are operating unlicensed pharmacies in various towns and markets, including Kutu in Abeokuta and Oke Aje in Ijebu-Ode. Citing Kano's major market as an example, he stated that the council is doing all it can to close outlets where fake drugs and unregistered pharmacies are operating. He vowed that Ogun State will not be left out. Speaking on this year's theme, Meeting Global Health Needs, Adenuba asserted that it not only captures the relevance of pharmacists, but also highlights the vital role that they play in addressing and evolving healthcare challenges across the globe. He disclosed that majority of the state's private hospitals had subverted the role of pharmacists by dispensing medications at pharmacies without the presence of a pharmacist. National Working Committee of the All Progressives Grand Alliance says they're set to suspend the governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo, and his co-travelers. The party's national chairman, Chief Edozie Njoku, who addressed the press at the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday, said the governor has thwarted every move by the Supreme Court, recognized NWC to restore peace in the party, and has continued with his anti-party activities. Edozie said on Thursday, 26 September 2024, the NWC would announce the names of members of the party who had been suspended for anti-party activities, including the governor of Anambra State, Soludo. Ahead of the off-cycle governorship election in the state, the national chairman maintained that party has no sole candidate for the election. He doubted if Soludo could even emerge victorious from his party's primaries. He said that anyone interested in becoming the governor of Anambra State should come forward and go through the process, which, according to him, would be seamless. And now to the business news. Nigeria Bureau of Statistics yesterday announced that Nigeria unemployment rates grew by 1.2% points to 5.3% in total year on year. This came on a day the Central Bank of Nigeria raised monetary policy rates by 27%. The NBS, which disclosed this in a Nigeria Labour Force Survey report, said the unemployment rate for first quarter of 2024 was 5.3%, showing an increase from 5.0% recorded in third quarter of 2023. The unemployment rate among males was 4.3% and 6.2% among females. By place of residence, an unemployment rate was 6.0% in urban areas and 4.3% in rural areas of the first quarter of this year. The survey also showed that the share of underemployed Nigerians declined 10.9% in first quarter of 2024 from 12% in the first quarter of 2023. Underemployment is the share of the unemployed population who work less than 40 hours per week but are willing and available to be engaged for additional work hours. It stated that in the first quarter of 2024, the share of underemployed Nigerians was 10.9%, a decline of 1% point from 12% recorded in the third quarter of 2023. Center experts have maintained that adequate and proper sensitization will help to educate entrepreneurs on the range of businesses that's qualified to benefit from the proposed tax waiver bill by the federal government. Executive bill The federal government, through the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, says that the payment of the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira will commence from July 2024, meaning it was backdated. The commission said that this was because the date in question was when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved the bill after the National Assembly passed it. Joseph Moses Mawuyinka reveals the significance of the minimum wage to civil servants and the ordinary citizens of Nigeria.
All right, welcome to the Atlantic Street broadcast. I am Joseph Moses Mawuyinka. Yesterday, the federal government approved the minimum wage of 70,000 that was passed some time ago in the National Assembly. The question now is that how will this 70,000 minimum wage help the civil servant and then cut across the ordinary citizens of Nigeria, going along with the situation of the price of fuel and also causing the high price of food in our markets. Stay tuned to the Atlantic Street broadcast as we bring you some views of Nigerians.
With respect to what is currently happening, it's really appalling because the government is not taking in consideration the plight of the masses. With everything going on, we've still seen that some places the 70,000 minimum wage has not still been implemented, and it's really bringing a big brunt to the citizens. As of now, you can see that there are very few cars on the road. By now, this is a busy place. It's meant to be bustling of the city. Now they've brought the economy down. It's crumbling. Transport has increased. What I used to pay to get to work, 500, has now turned over 1,000. And how much am I earning? Not earning anything. It's nothing decent. And we can't seem to get, there's no way out. What will 70,000 buy now? If a crate of egg is 5,000 and how much is carton of beans? You can't take care of a family of 3 with 70,000. You can't. The best way should have been reducing the pump price, because directly or indirectly we are all affected by this. This is a nation that is primarily run by energy, and that is fuel, in particular petrol. If you can cut down the petrol prices, the cost of transportation of the raw materials to the market will fairly reduce, and we can see a fair difference, something good, a semblance of peace. Because right now we are not seeing anything.
Us know that it's a foul play. The price of fuel, price of food has gone up. So as of now, 70,000 naira is a foul play from the federal government. So it's better they should review it. At least as of now, the minimum wage should be standard of 200 plus. At least if level 4, level 5, they are taking something 280, 300. I think it's far better that everything will balance up. At least nobody will have cause of stealing from the government purse. Nobody will have hands in changing what is not supposed to change on documents or sidelining policies the way people are doing just to hence their ends meet. So the only thing is just for government to checkmate their works.
The minimum wage that was approved, that is 70,000 naira for the civil servants, that is for government workers. For me, it is a good move anyway, because we never had it this way before. But compared to the current situation on ground, how does that help the common man? For now, you can see the bag of rice is how much? Going to 85,000, 90,000, is depending on which of the rice you are going for. For me, 50,000 kg of rice is more than 70,000 naira, irrespective of which of the kind of rice you are going for in this country. And you know, the high rise of the PMS, the petrol, cut across everything in our country. The inflation, the transportation hike, you know, even the farmers to transport their goods from their various farms to the market is something else. So you don't expect them to sell to the consumers at the way it should be, because of the exorbitant price they paid from their farm to the market. So for me, I know he has approved it. It's more than it used to be. It used to be 30,000. Today is 70,000. But compared with the current situation, is it really? Does it really go? Will it go a long way? The best way for me should have been is the fuel subsidy. I am begging, should have been returned.
I'm serving under FCTA. I'm really glad that it was approved, because I really didn't think that it was even going to be approved this year. Like, I didn't think it was going to be implemented this year. And I'm really glad, because currently I'm spending like 80% of my allowance on transport alone. If not for the fact that I'm staying with someone, I wouldn't be able to afford food or anything other than transport. So I'm really happy.
You have heard from Nigerians, all complaints is going to the high price of fuel. And many are saying that once the fuel price is affordable to all Nigerians, every other things will go low in terms of price. And the president was supposed to tackle the fair price instead of the 70 minimum wage, since it won't go circulating to all Nigerians. I am Joseph Moses, Atlantic Television Network.
Up next is the international tidbits. Israel's army chief told soldiers on Wednesday to prepare for a possible ground offensive to fight Hezbollah in Lebanon as the Air Force conducted hundreds of deadly strikes around the country. Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi told a tank brigade, according to a statement from the military, that they are attacking all-day boats to prepare the ground for the possibility of your entry, but also to continue striking Hezbollah. Lebanon's health minister said Wednesday's strikes killed 51 people and injured 233, including in mountainous areas outside Hezbollah traditional strongholds. Hezbollah said it had targeted Israel's Mossad spy agency on Tel Aviv outskirts in the morning, the first time it has fired a ballistic missile in almost a year of cross-border clashes sparked by the Gaza war. In response, Israel said it has hit 60 Hezbollah intelligence sites amongst hundreds of the group's targets struck across Lebanon. Missouri death row inmate Marcellus Williams was executed by lethal injection Tuesday for the 1998 murder of Leisha Gale, a former newspaper reporter who was found brutally stabbed in her suburban St. Louis home. Williams, 55, died after 6 p.m. CDT at a Missouri state prison in Bon Terre in Francois County, approximately 60 miles southwest of St. Louis. Williams' lawyer confirmed to newsmen. The capital punishment case saw national attention, with Williams maintaining his innocence, the victim's family opposing the execution and his prosecution submitting motions for appeals at every level. The United Nations Supreme Court denied 2 separate appeals to spare Williams' life on Tuesday, an hour ahead of his execution, despite the objection of Justices Ketanji Brown Jackson, Elena Kagan, Sonia Sotomayor. Williams' attorney, Trisha Rojo Bushnell, released a statement after STTUS decision saying, "Tonight, Missouri will execute an innocent man, Marcellus." In sports, Chelsea have sent scouts to watch Bayern Leverkusen's striker, Victor Boniface. The Blues seems to have shifted attention to a powerful forward after failing to sign his compatriot, Victor Osimhen, this summer. According to TBR Football, the West London club have scouted the 23-year-old in recent weeks. Enzo Maresca's side still plans to strengthen their strike force in the January transfer window, and Victor Boniface has a contract with Bayern Leverkusen until 2028. The former Bodo Glimt player, current transfer market valuation is at 40 million euros. He has registered 4 goals and 1 assist in 6 appearances across all competitions for Die Wexelf this season. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Court barbs PDP from dissolving ESCOs. New CP vows to smoke out criminals. Senate confirms Justice Kudirat Kekereekun as new CJN. Nigeria spends 89.5 trillion naira electronically. Russian strike kills 1.